52.49 she ran to win the European title last month. But she will have been watching from afar as Sydney McLaughlin of Roney ran that 50.65 world record at the US trials. And if one can challenge her in Paris, it will certainly be Femke Bol. Now, they've rewritten her stride pattern last year. She now runs with 14 strides. It's a longer stride she has up until about the 7th hurdle. Then she'll be switching back to her old habit, 15 strides. So what can Femke Bol do here? As you see, just coasts past Adekoya there down the back straight. Approaching halfway, Femke Bol in command. Adekoya is putting it up to her best here at the moment, but really this is once again Femke Bol against the clock as she rounds the last bend. Adekoya it is in second, going well there as well as Yasmin Geiger and Fularunzo. Fularunzo it is back in third at the moment, but Femke Bol turns for home, approaches this last barrier. Femke Bol by a street. It is Adekoya and Fularunzo battling for second, but how quick can Femke Bol go in Le Chaux de Fonds? It's fast! It's very fast! 50.96. It is a massive personal best for Femke Bol. An astonishing performance, a European record for Femke Bol. She has obliterated her personal best in the thin air of Le Chaux de Fonds.
What's your feeling?
I cannot believe I'm so happy. Without so doing this crowd was so awesome. I cannot believe it.
Elle n'arrive pas à y croire. Elle dit que c'était tellement beau. Le crowd, c'est vous, cher public, tellement agréable. On l'a fait bien fort. Record d'Europe. Comme une
Just the feeling of having a PB, whether it's you become Olympic champion with it or whether you just win a regional meet, it's just a really special feeling.
There's going to be a win for Femke Bol, 49.44.
When I crossed the finish line, I was so happy because I was like, oh, wow, I made it. And it was also such an amazing time with 49.4. I think it's one that will stay with me for a long time.
What an incredible championships from Femke Bol.
The very last gold of these championships goes to the Netherlands. What a magnificent last leg by Femke Bol.
I still have the feeling like I had when I was a kid and I would do well. And this is something really special about our sport.
Yet more Dutch delight.
I think I was 8 years old when I started to do track and field. I was interested because my brother was doing it. He was going with my dad sometimes to the track and I was thinking, oh, it looks fun, and I always like to run around, and I think track and field is just nice because you can do anything when you're young. You have to throw, you have to jump, you have to run. It took quite some time to see my talent. I think my talent is also on the lactic part, and when you're young you don't do this. When I was like 13 years old, I had my first nationals, and I came in as number 30. And it was the first time I used my golden pins. And we packed our stuff, and it was 60 meters, and yeah, the 60 meters are early in the morning, a bit later, and then late in the afternoon. So we packed, I think, one pair of cookies because I wouldn't make it through the heats. And then at the end of the day I was in the final and we had no food with us. And yeah, I think I still remember it because it was the first time I could really surprise myself a lot, and I had a lot of fun because I was together in the final with the teammates. My best friend is still from this group, so this is really special for me, and we just always had so much fun together. All the worries I have, they often go away when I'm running, or back then when I was even still throwing. It's just, I'm so focused on something else and I enjoy it so much that it a bit leaves all my worries behind for an hour. My parents did a lot for me. I also have an older brother. He's really a proud brother, and he keeps telling me every time we see each other a bit like, Fem, don't run a 100 meter because I still have the PB of the family, so I won't be running a 100 meter. My parents would be driving me a lot around, and still they drive a lot now behind me to go to all the competitions, and they always try to help me in the best way and always support me, but also keep me on the ground and be realistic and know it's at the end of the day just track and you have a life around it. We always went on long holidays with my parents, so this was always a lot of fun. And I just like to be with friends, do some stuff together, play board games or card games. We still do this a lot.
Were you competitive when you played these board games by any chance, Femke?
Maybe. I can get a bit grumpy, but it's only for 1 minute, so it's okay. But on my first holiday with my boyfriend, I taught him a Dutch game, and after it, the whole holiday I didn't win it, and we're still together, so I can lose. the moment I really saw I could go on international level was when I ran in Stockholm Diamond League, my 52.3. I was going to the 53s and this was already really good. And the whole year I was also training to hopefully get an Olympic medal. So of course I was already thinking about this, but then when I did this race, it was such a breakthrough for me also to see what I was capable of. And the time was so fast that this was really the moment that I was like, okay, I can compete at the highest level with the best people in the world, and this is something amazing. Well, my first European Championship was indoor in Torun when it was COVID time. So this was big because it was my first international medal on the big stage. And yeah, I was running fast times, but can also do it at a tournament, especially an indoor tournament. It's pretty tough. So this was really a big moment because it was my first medal. Munich with 3 times gold. It was something so special.
Jürgen is out-muscled by Femke Bol, who's on her way to win her 3rd gold of these championships.
I think it's one that will stay with me for a long time.
What an incredible championships from Femke Bol.
I was sitting with my coach and I was like, I'm not sure I can do it. I'm not sure. It was straight after Eugene, the World Championships. I had 2 times silver and he was like, I think you can do it, but you have to believe it, otherwise you won't make it. So I thought about it and I talked with a lot of people, with my coach, with my parents and my boyfriend about it. And I thought, okay, I'm just gonna give it a shot. I think I can do it.
What a treat that the programme allowed Femke Bol of the Netherlands to attempt a 400 flat and 400 hurdles double.
The 400 meter was the toughest one to win. I had some great opposition, so I was pretty nervous also because I only did one 400 meter in 2 weeks before at the Diamond League. So you have a feeling but don't exactly have the feeling with the 400 yet. So I was nervous, but I was also ready and I knew, okay, it's the start of the big plan. And I really focused on it like task by task, and I was just looking at this race, not thinking too much that the next morning I had another semi-final. And I think just the crowd was so crazy there. It was such a nice atmosphere that I also really got the feeling like, okay, people want me to be able to make this at the end 3 times gold. So it was such a nice feeling and I felt ready and I knew what I had to do. I knew how I had to execute. So it was just about trying this.
Femke Bol, but I feel like Femke Bol is just getting into her running as we hit the 200 meter mark. The graphic in the corner indicating that Lieke Klaver of the Netherlands is in the lead at the moment.
I think it worked out pretty well. With 300 we were with 3 together and I just tried to push it as much as I could, and then of course you see the others and it helps you with the adrenaline and to push, but in the end I was just really focused on myself and executing my race, keeping my form, because that's the way I run the fastest.
Ever so slightly, it is going to be a win for Femke Bol, 49.44.
When I crossed the finish line I was so happy because I was like, oh wow, I made it, and it was also such an amazing time with 49.4. I didn't expect to run this, so it was so nice, and at the same time I think a few seconds later I was like, okay, first one, we have more to do, but I really tried to enjoy it for a while, like with the victory lap and going through the media and just seeing everyone for a bit, and then I was like, okay, now it's time to sleep and go back tomorrow morning.
So this young woman, who's better known as a 400 hurdler, now has the indoor and outdoor European 400 flat title.
It's something so special because it's like better than I thought I could do, so I learned that I can do sometimes more than I think I can do, and that's why it's a really special one for me. Oh, Glasgow, it was amazing. I mean, I really wanted the title because I had a silver one and I came in as world record holder, so if you are the world record holder you also want to be the world champion, of course. But to be able to do this with on Friday running twice and then the next day coming back and feeling strong, but also being able to take a risk, because if you go for a world record you take a bit of risk with how fast you go everywhere, and then to win it like this was something super special. I was seeing it but I was not registering it because I was also winning, so it was a bit, and then Lieke was coming around me and I was like, what just happened? Takes a moment to go into the head like, okay, you ran this fast. It's sometimes I think like, did I see maybe something wrong or is it off? But then you look again and it's still the same time, like, I really did do this. I especially remember in 2023 when I ran it, the next morning I woke up and I was a bit like, okay, what now? What's happening? I couldn't wrap my mind around it. And I think this year I could enjoy it so much more because I knew, okay, the next morning I'll wake up exactly the same because it won't change a thing about me, but I could wrap my head around it like, okay, I really did such an amazing race and my legs and I could really produce this amazing time, and it makes me enjoy it a lot. It's what you strive for, to become the best you can, and if it's the best ever, it's something amazing. What I love about track and field is that the women are already a lot highlighted, and also how it's now possible that a lot of mothers are coming back and showing how strong we are as women. I really think this is something great and inspiring to see for everyone. My hero in sports, Daphne Schippers and Alison Felix. And I even have a picture with Alison Felix. And well, I had the same PB as her on the 400 when I ran my last year the world indoor record, so I thought it was so cool. But yeah, I think she's an amazing athlete, of course, on the 400, on the 200, and everything she's achieved, also what she's still doing now for the sport, even though she retired. And then Daphne was such a big Dutch name and one of the first ones in my life to be able to go on the highest podium and become double world champion. What she did is so amazing. So it was always, first times I was walking around Papendal and I saw Daphne Schippers, I was like,
And what did you say to her? Did you speak to her?
no, I was too scared. No, she's also such a nice person, and she was always there to give advice to me when I was coming new into the worlds, which really helped me a lot. So this is really nice. A bit of pressure is never something bad.
Yet more Dutch delight.
You can always improve yourself. Just the feeling of having a PB, whether it's you become Olympic champion with it or whether you just win a regional meet, it's just a really special feeling that I still have the feeling like I had when I was a kid and I would do well. And this is something really special about our sport.
Hello, I'm Leonardo Fabri, and you must subscribe to the European Athletics channel because otherwise I'm gonna fight you.